Welcome to this session. My name is Marta, and we are here to introduce to finally launch and share with you this new thing that we have been working on with you. This is one of those projects. Sorry, Naomi, can you share, please, the screen so that I don't start talking and then we have to go back? Go back to the title, please. There you go. Sorry about that glitch. Again, welcome everybody to the launch of this CBSITS Africa platform. The CBSITS standing for Capacity Building and Scientific Impact Tracking System for Africa. I guess you can see that this is one of those projects where the name says what we are doing. We are here thanks to the support of the Carnegie Corporation of New York. To our partnership so that we could enhance our tracking systems. I am Marta from the Consortium for Advanced Research Training in Africa, or CARTA, and I am here to introduce and thank our partners for the journey. This work has been motivated from CARTA, led by our focal person at Wits University in South Africa, and has brought us together in what I hope will be the first of many collaborations with the Africa Research Universities Alliance, ARUA, with AIMS, the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences, the BANGA program in the University of Rwanda, and the Possible Africa program from the Science for Africa Foundation. Next slide, Naomi. You can see that across the programs, we offer a diversity of interventions from master's, PhD, and postdoctoral level, fellowships and grants, short, small, a bit bigger. And this has provided us with a very useful platform to test our capacity to adjust the CBSITS platform to different case studies. And now I will pass the baton to Naomi, our M&E officer in CARTA, so that she can share with you the evaluation framework that we came up with working with our partners, and she will introduce the next partner and speaker to you. Thank you everyone for being here. Naomi, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Marta, and thank you everyone for coming. So my name is Naomi Njenga. I am the monitoring and evaluation supporting the CARTA program. I'll take you through the evaluation framework, and then Jude will take you through the demo of the page that we have developed. And we also have a demo from the ARUA program and also testimonials from those who have used the platform. So the evaluation framework, so what I'm presenting is work that we have developed together with our partners. As Marta mentioned, we have five partners, the CARTA program, ARUA, and AIMS. So it's a framework that is developed from our work. And the reason as to why we have this framework was because we needed a common standard to measure the impact of the research capacity building initiatives that you're doing across the five partners, turning our scattered fellows record into one coherent database. The other reason was because what we currently have, most of the databases are mainly focused on tracking the research outputs, mainly publications and outputs related to publication, and they miss the whole capacity strengthening that happens in these researchers. Therefore, the programs decided to have an evaluation framework and an intervention that will allow us to learn. And also from the same data, we will have accountability to our funders. So this framework was developed together with the partners, and we had a validation workshop to ensure that the framework is robust, portable, and adaptable to the different programs, as mentioned by Marta, that we all are different, offering different interventions. So as we developed the framework is to help us answer 4 questions. And the questions are, who are we reaching by our intervention, and what investments are being made at the different levels? And then what outputs and trajectories do the outputs from these interventions bring about? This may include both academic and non-academic outputs, and also the broader societal impact that emerge from the interventions, maybe from the fellows, and what the programs are doing at the program level. And also it's to help us for program performance over time, just to see how programs are performing, and could be the completion, the retention, and the reach of the different programs that we have. So our evaluation framework has 6 domains and with over 60 indicators. The first 3 indicators focus on the researcher as an individual, whereby the first domain we are looking at the input. Who have we reached by our programs? What has been invested? That is the financial, in-kind contribution, and also infrastructural, and what is being offered. Our second domain is the academic outputs that come from these interventions. And here we are looking at publications, the networks formed, curriculum development contributions. And then domain 3 looks at outputs beyond publications. Here we are looking at career progression, including the promotions for the fellows have received, leadership positions within and outside institutions, the grants they have secured, and recognitions received. Domain 4 are indicators that look at the policy uptake of the research coming from these interventions, global expert panel contributions by our fellows, the engagement with society. And then domain 5 comes back to the program, whereby we are looking at the performance of the program, the completion rate, the time to completion, retention, and the reach of the different programs. Domain 6 has indicators that are looking at the trajectory and pathways of multi-stage programs. There are programs that offer different kind of support. Therefore, we are looking at how the transition happens in the program. For the framework, the framework has 4 main users. Our main users are funders for annual reporting and also for developing stronger funding proposals, as there will be evidence just from one source that gives the whole picture of how the program is performing. It is also being used by beneficiaries to give them the public profile of how they're progressing and also visibility. For programs, it's for their own learning. As they work on their data, they're able to identify their gaps as well as improve on the areas they need to, as well as, as well as benchmark with their peers. And also for institution, and institution is for their, just to see the landscape of their programs. So this is still work. This has been work, and some programs are still adapting. Some of the indicators we already have, and some we're still working, or programs are trying to invest to see ways they will invest to be able to capture that. So I'll hand it over to Jude, who is our lead in the project and our CARTA focal person at the University of Witwatersrand, to be able to take us through the page. Over to you, Jude.
Thanks, Naomi. I'll share my screen now. Stop sharing. Great. So Naomi has taken us through the framework, how it was developed. And rightly so, she has talked about the different users and the value it has for different groups. Just to re-echo that is to say that when we started developing this, we had 2 main users in mind, which was demonstrating the impact of the programs that are supported by the Carnegie Corporation of New York, and also letting them have an idea of the kind of impact they are making, but also the programs themselves for planning. And in our 2 years of doing this, we have not only perfected or tried to perfect the act of doing that for the programs, we're also extending to say how can it also benefit other programs. And I think the evaluation framework we just developed adds to that. So in addition to what has been said, the platform now, the way it's been created is one that becomes quite portable for university leaders for themselves to see what's happening within their university, but also being able to be specifically into any career researchers and other doctoral programs, other capacity programs within the institutions. And of course, the program managers are able to move from your manual monitoring, evaluation, and learning to one that is almost fully automated and regularly updated to have real-time information from time to time. And of course, we find out to know what their output and impact is. The early career researchers to profile themselves and showcase their work, and for other implementing partners to come and see how this could serve their various programs. Then when I take you to the website, you see that we have some of the features we've created. There is a page that specifically looks at the 5 programs that are quite diverse. There are some at master's level, some at PhD level, but the shared outcomes or outputs or shared indicators can be seen on a central page that reflects the work being done by Carnegie Corporation or through its supported programs. But above that, each program would have its own specific reports that shows how well a program is doing and areas of improvement, or the strengths or strategic value and contribution of each particular program is shared on the program page. And in such a place, you see things such as the program's profile that has a rich collection of information that's about the program. Those pages are constantly being updated using data we are pulling from the programs, but also pulling from publicly available sources, including publications that the fellows are producing, being that these are scientific or academic development capacity building programs. The platform also shares a rich narrative of those metrics, because one is to gather a lot of those citation indexes and the rest of them. But the other is to say, what do they all mean, that anybody can come in and be able to say what a summary of that information is in a very narrative way. The platform is also able to show that. And other insights and outputs also visible on the platform. What else the platform is able to show us is a directory. Now, sometimes African researchers are not always very visible in terms of the work that we do. And if you go on the platform, you should be able to search for skills that you need. Either related publications come out or individuals behind those publications are seen on this platform. So that way you are able to find scientists, particularly early career researchers who would benefit significantly from this kind of visibility platform that the CD6 platform offers. Then all the publications that they produce can all be found in one place. We are also increasingly integrating AI to help query the outputs of the beneficiaries of the Carnegie program to say, well, what have they done and how is it contributing, or what is the meaning of the work that's coming out of them, or how is it translating to societal impact. We're now using AI to query that, and all that I'll show in a moment. And other things such as the various pages constitute reports that can be downloaded and shared as part of standard reporting processes. So this is just an idea of what a program page would look like. In this case, CARTA, the total number of publications they produced, their citation, the number of beneficiaries in the program, and the number of journals where they publish from, and a trajectory of yearly publication counts, and also countries that they cover. And generally speaking, the platform would, in line with the framework presented by Naomi, cover things like research capacity and training, scientific output, and we mute. Are we able to mute if we're not speaking? We're also able to dig deep into each of the papers that we look at, and also look at the reach of the research being done in terms of regional and global footprints. Issues around equity and impact of the program is also shared through the platform. And we've moved through this first phase, which is this pilot. We're thankful to Carnegie for the support. It has been a very useful learning phase. We have learned to really measure the work being done. And we continue to refine the kind of indicators that we collect, from training to societal impact, and also to further development of these early career researchers. The various indicators and measures of all of this across the different stages we've been able to put together, and the platform is able to show as well. And our next plan is to say, well, how do we sustain this in spite of the funding? That the project effectively will end, I think, at the end of this month. And beyond that, what do we do? And for that reason, we are thinking of one is retain the same CBC's platform that brings everybody together, or look for a different model and say, well, can we create a place where various programs within the continent can begin to plug in as a research hub, that anybody can go in there and create a profile, and our system will automatically collect your information and allow you to track your progress, identify your strengths, your weaknesses, and areas of improvement or collaborations as well. If for nothing, creating a place where we can showcase the value of research happening in Africa and people conducting that research. So we are now looking to go beyond the work that we've just done, which I'll show in a moment, into saying, can we now decentralize in a way that each institution, each partner, or other additional members who want to come onto the system can go in there, create their own portal, and manage independently using the kind of plug and play system that we have developed. So in terms of next steps, we are open to onboarding more programs with what we've created. We are also seeking to strengthen our data integration with sources, that if there are other sources that help us automate the system a lot more, such as plugging with local data sets within various institutions, that can also help us understand what is happening in various institutions, but in a way that maintains data sovereignty of the source of those information, and also continuously looking for ways to sustain this platform so that it doesn't end with this funding, to say, how do we all contribute to keep it going in one way or the other? And for that reason, we're inviting universities to come and join, become part of this. If we are all using it, hopefully we all can contribute to keep the system going. We're also asking other funders who could find value in this kind of system to come and use it to demonstrate the impact of the work that they are doing in Africa. And researchers to claim their profile, own it, showcase it. Visibility is everything, and when we make this platform more visible, I'm sure that we'll be able to pull in the support to keep it going, and also more partners, either in the Carnegie supported program and other programs to come in and also adopt what we have started with. So if you allow me to the platform to take you through quickly, when we built it, it came out like this, where at the beginning, we would, there's a homepage about us, what the project is about, and the metrics page that has a profile of all the partners put together in one place. Currently, all the partners, the 5 partners combined, have generated about 9,000 publications since their inception, and we have verified about 347 from the various partners. Remember, some partners are quite big, some are small, but again, in our first phase of gathering as much as possible, we're able to reach that. But the system can take as many as 1 million authors onto the system with ease and ready to run. The number of institutions that the current pilot members have either worked with as collaborators, and also where they are located is also shown in this kind of overall. So in some way, that this work done, the funding that the 5 projects received through Carnegie was able to reach as many institutions as this, and also had all this number of citations, number of journals where they published. Some of the publications over time are shown their contribution to other developmental targets. So the papers then get analyzed. So, well, how are they contributing to science? And this is the kind of spread that you're getting. the kind of global and regional reach of the projects we're able to see. And sometimes the countries you're seeing here is a reflection of where some of these programs are located in its current form, but again, can increase beyond this. And the kind of study and content of the research is also demonstrated. And we're using a bit of natural language processing now to read these thousands of papers being generated for the group that we have, but we are able to read even more than that. Because the data we have on this system, the source actually is a system that pulls publications from over 150 million publications produced globally, but with a great focus on research coming out of Africa. The reason for the kind of African focus is so that we are more deliberate to capture research happening in Africa that other databases may not be able to capture. And by that way, we use this platform to make research happening in Africa more visible. So that's kind of a general page. I would not spend too much time on that so that my colleagues can also present their parts. The other thing we have on the platform is a directory where you can search for individuals by their names and so on. And each person here has a profile, and this profile is generated through information we would have received about them, or such as when they started, joined some of these programs, or when they completed, if they have completed. And we also go to search globally, into many other databases, from science databases to funding sources, to automatically fetch more information about them to populate their profiles. So in this case, this individual has all that metrics in terms of grants they've received, other awards they've received, workshops they've attended, and so on, in demonstrating or describing the contribution of the Carnegie program to this particular individual. When they joined, when they finished, the number of publications before, during, and after, and all these are generated automatically. And there's a very brief AI summary of, this kind of impact. But again, we can extend this to not just the impact, but also begin to suggest recommendations that these individuals can take forward. And it goes on and on. And what else do we have? Each program will have its own profile. ARUA would dig deep into what that will look like for each of the programs. I will spend time on that. But beyond that, and if we go beyond this project, what else we are hoping to do in our attempts to make this more portable for each program is that each program will then have its own profile and be able to manage it outside of this project, and should be able to update their information on their own, but be able to pull the central data that we have that we're collecting globally from multiple sources. So one is they can add their own specific program information, and all of the information we're pulling from multiple global sources can also feed into that to enrich it. And we are hoping to do that for each of the programs. We have ARUA can claim its own, Possible Africa can claim its own, and all the other partners claim theirs. And for CARTA specifically, that we've had time to build out, the CARTA one would look like this, where you would have, a landing page about a CARTA program. And what else do we show here? What else do we show here? Would have more information about the program. That will show a bit of metrics of what's happening in the program, the impact of the program, and the impact of the funding on the program before, during, and after, in broad areas like capacity building, networking, and so on. And these are not yet public, and please, not for public use. So I want to do something quickly here, so I can scroll down quickly. That's a kind of a CARTA program, the impact, the research being done. What else do we have? There's a publication page with all the publications being produced by the CARTA fellows. There is, if you search for any topic, you're able to see related papers and people behind those papers. So these are the number of malaria-related papers created, and these are the CARTA fellows leading in this area. And you can also go further to ask specific questions into all the papers they've been producing. What malaria control innovations are coming out of Tanzania from the work being done by CARTA fellows? With the AI, you are able to, it reads all the papers. And this is something when we started this journey about 7 years ago, it took us almost 5 to 6 months, to create this kind of reports that have become fully automated now. So that's kind of, it shows what CARTA fellows are doing and some of the main CARTA fellows who are producing the documents. This green line is obscuring my view. I'm not able to scroll down properly. So that's for that. And so what a system is able to do is really anybody's, guess. And we continue to refine and improve these systems based on the information that we're collecting, and we'll continue to collect and pull it into the one place. So I'll pause for a moment to allow others also catch up in terms of what we have planned for today, and maybe later on I'll come back to answer specific questions. But this information we are able to generate for each program and also for each university if and when the time comes. I'll pause for a moment and hand over to Emmanuel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jude. So basically what I will be doing, so my name is Emmanuel Abi and I work with the African Research Universities Alliance. We are a network of 23 universities in Africa, and we have an early career researcher program funded by Carnegie, and that's how we came to be part of this particular consortium. So basically what I will do is to try and demonstrate how we have been using the platform, basically just how we have been using the platform. So I'll try and share my screen, and I hope you can see it. So it's just the same site that Jude kind of took us through. So if you come to programs, right, you can click on ARUA and then it opens the page for ARUA for you. And then the beginning is just an introductory and message about what the program is. That's basically what you see at first. So if you scroll down a bit, you tend to see the cohort completion outcome in terms of the number of fellows that have been built into this particular platform. And we see this platform more importantly as an important dashboard. So historically, what we did was some of these things are built into Excel, and we are able to tell how many fellows came in this particular year and that kind of thing. But what makes this platform very, very important to us is that it's able to link this narrative information with bibliometric data, which is more or less nicely cooked with AI. So we are able to see a lot more than what we typically will see. So for instance, if you come here, what we see here is the publication output by the different cohorts, and the system tries to kind of disaggregate that a bit so that we see what was the progress in terms of applications before they joined our program, during our program, and then after our program. What you see next is just the distributions by the age of the fellows. And let me just quickly go down a bit more, because that is it is of interest to us, how it's able to tell us the number of publications that the fellows have done on an annual basis. And more importantly, this particular one, which tells us which particular fellow has the highest number of publications. So currently, based on the fellows that we built into the system, we see Benjamin and J24 leading in terms of the number of publications, followed by Kudus, Francis, Otieno, Nanamba, and it continues like that. In fact, you can click on the name and it will open another page for you so that you get to see a little bit more of the path of each of the fellows. But you see, what ARUA does is we assign our fellows to centers of excellence. And what the centers are supposed to be doing is to be doing research around a particular team. In fact, all the centers are linked to doing something about the SDGs. Now, this system is able to tell us the contribution, even though it is very little, how each of the fellows are contributing towards the sustainable development goals. And you see the percentage shares. One of the good things is there's this particular SDG on good health and well-being. That's the area that our fellows are published on the most. So for us, when we go to our stakeholders, all we're able to tell them where we have our strengths and where we do not have. And then this is very, very important to our board, because we are able to tell our board that this is the specific SDG that we contributed the most, and this is where there's a shortfall, and we know how to plan for the future. As I said earlier, you can click on the name of each of the fellows, and it opens a page for you. I've already done that for, and I'm trying to bring this. So I've done that for Benjamin. All right. So when you click the profile of Benjamin, so there's a picture here, which is just an internet issue. When it loads properly, the picture will show up. But it tells you the part of Benjamin's output. So this is before he joined the program up to 2020. He joined the program for the 2021-2022 cohorts. And then the publications is done after. So for us, this is a very important impact reporting. We don't have to go back to Benjamin and ask for additional information anymore. Now the system is able to give us a fair idea of Benjamin's publication output. It even goes further to try and break it down in terms of specifically for Benjamin, what his writing is about in terms of the SDGs. So we are able to know specifically, Benjamin, I think, was assigned to the Center of Excellence on Energy. So you see how the distribution of his publications are tailored towards this particular energy and SDGs. So basically, this dashboard has been very, very useful to us. That's helped us to more or less track our fellows properly. And we have two of our fellows here. So let me stop sharing for now. We have two of our fellows here who have used the system. They've seen the system. They know what the system can do for them. So I will invite them just briefly for them to share some testimonials about their use of the platform. And so if Deborah or Nixon is online, I think let's do Deborah first. Deborah, are you able to speak briefly? How useful has this platform been to you?
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. Good afternoon, everyone. So for me, it was easy navigating the platform. I could see my profile, although I see that the profile does not have my some of my recent publications. But I think one of the things I appreciate about the platform is the fact that it gives visibility to your work, what you're doing, what you've done in the past. And I think that's important for any academic. You want to have visibility for your publications and whatever you're doing. So for that, I can commend the platform, because I mean, in addition to other platforms that could give visibility to one's publications and research profile, this is one platform that I think one can easily go through and is easy to navigate. You can see at a glance what each researcher on the platform is doing or has done. So that for me is one thing that I can say about the platform.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deborah. Listen, are you able to speak briefly?
Yes,
how
thank you,
useful has the
Emmanuel.
platform been to you?
Thank you, Emmanuel. And good afternoon to everyone. Yeah, just like Deborah said, personally, when I saw my profile, I was so excited because you see, it increased my visibility. But that aside, it has worked as a platform for accountability. Now, it works for, it speaks for me. You know, as we get these fellowships, we are accountable to our institutions, to our funders, and to the public. Now the public can easily go to your profile and see what you really did or what you have been doing. So to me, really, that is very important. But also, in another way, it challenges me now to write more. Of course, as Deborah said, most of my publications are not yet there. Some are in the process of, of being published. Others, there are book chapters that have not been uploaded on the system. But now it has challenged me to really work hard and see that really my profile can, be improved, and, I can also really speak as an academic. So that's briefly what I can say about the profile. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nixon. So those are two fellows from the ARUA program. We have another fellow from the CARTA program by the name Stephen Wandera. So Stephen, can you also comment briefly on how useful the platform has been to you?
Yeah, thank you so much. One of the things that I've really enjoyed working with the platform is to be able to use the information here to be able to look out for the scientific evidence on the African continent on any topic. I will give one illustration. There's a colleague who is based at Exeter University in the UK, and he wanted us to apply for a grant from the Worldwide Universities Network. So he reached out to me because he works on aging, and I do work on aging. He works on aging in Nigeria. I do work on aging in Uganda. And for that grant application, we also needed a nurse, somebody from the nursing discipline. So I have a colleague whom we were together in the same cohort, and she did nursing, and she also did some work on aging, on aging in the context of nursing. So we were able to apply for a grant together. And even though we were not very successful, I think the idea of finding it easy to get collaborators was really very instrumental for us. So thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. So just to wrap up the session, this platform has been very useful. It's mainly about now putting some numbers to the impact that we are making using our program. And thank very much, CARTA and Carnegie, for bringing us together to be able to join this particular platform. So next, in terms of this particular webinar, will be a panel session, which will be moderated by Professor Jemima. I don't know if Prof. Jemima is on. Anyway, let me hand over to you, Mata.
Thank you, Emmanuel. I will pass to you the questions so that Jemima can answer and share what the experiences from the BANGA program as well, so we don't have you all pinged to the screen. But just before you go, just give us, you've shared, you've done the demo, you've shared your page, you've given us examples of what you are looking at now. Can you maybe reflect a bit on the shift that having this has meant for you, what you were able to do before and what you can see yourselves as a program doing now and moving forward?
Thank you. Right. So as I said previously, basically our program is an early career researcher program. 6 months, people go to other universities other than their home country to more or less do research, and they are assigned to our centers of excellence. Historically, all we did was to use basic Excel to try and track them. So what we are, the most we could tell about a particular fellow is the publications that he has sent through his CV and what he has done when he was there. This thing about bibliometric data in terms of what has the person been writing on historic, we never had access to that. It was just impossible for us to do that using the type of information that we were compiling with the Excel. So as I said, now we are better able to engage with our stakeholders. We are able to tell them that of the 30 fellows that we've probably had in the past 1 year, most of their writings have been about this particular area, a particular SDG, which is good. We are able to tell them now that, well, if we want to increase the number of fellows, this is probably the area which we should be targeting. And that's how useful the platform has been for us. We are able to better engage with our stakeholders. We are able to better report to our board. We are better able to even engage the fellows and let them know that, well, just like Stephen was trying to say, if you want to write in a particular area, do a proposal application, well, you can come to the platform, get to see what some fellows are doing and see how better you can collaborate with them and put in some of these proposals. So much the platform has really been impactful, and we thank CARTA and Canada once again for bringing this. Thank you.
Thank you for joining on this trip. Certainly when we started, we were not sure that we could do this for everybody. We had our own CARTA evidence system and we were already reaping of some of those fruits. But certainly coming together has pushed us to the limit to see how to adjust it to different programs. Your program, like ours, is a consortium of institutions across Africa, but others are university-based. What does that look like? Others are a fellowship program. How does that look like? So we are really glad that we got this opportunity. And again, thanks to Carney for supporting us to do that. Now, maybe I can move to AIMS. I believe it was Macau who was on the call. Sorry, I'm trying to see everything on the screen and I may miss something. But yeah, if you can share from your perspective of the African Institute of Mathematical Sciences, similarly, what you were able to do before and what you're able to do now that you couldn't with the kind of data that you had before.
Okay, thank you, Martha. From the point of view of AIMS, the platform has been very useful in the sense that initially we were able to do much, but it was not possible for us to demonstrate and track and communicate scientific productivity so easily. But with this platform, all these things are being done real time. For instance, we are able to indicate that the beneficiaries have produced 307 publications, and they have already garnered 7,047 citations, and 93% of the fellows are able to secure extra funds. And we are able to maintain 16 partners within the engagement. So this platform came to bridge the feasibility gap. Before the platform, AIMS research output actually existed, but was not very visible to the world that mattered. So introducing the platform, the research output was buried in journal reports. It was not publicly auditable. The mechanisms to track fellows' publications were quite laborious, and the grant leverage, the platform is able to give us a single most compelling funder metric, which could not have been demonstrated before. It has also given us a breadth of SDG alignment, disciplines, and country reach, which initially were only known internally. We are able to maintain the partnership networks that existed, but were not very viable to external audiences. We had them in our records, but the external audience couldn't relate where we are collaborating and our partners, who they are. This platform is able also to showcase high impact publications. And these publications had no visible connection back to AIMS or its funders, but now the platform is able to attribute them to AIMS. This platform has given us a total of about 6 capabilities. And the first capability is demonstrating research productivity. As I said from the beginning, we have 307 publications from our fellows who's garnered 7,047 citations and 12,535 references. And this has been contained in 202 journals. That is the first capability of demonstrating research productivity. The second capability is longitudinal publication tracking. We are able to tell that the fellows had done so much publications before the program. And during the program, we are able to put on the table, this is the number. And after the program, we are able to indicate the number of publications that have been produced. For instance, before the publication, the platform, there were 101 publications recorded for the fellows. And during the the program, 84, and 100 after the program. The third capability is grant leverage. We have noted from the platform that 93% of our fellows have secured additional grants. This is a catalytic return, whereby one grant generated more. And this is the single most compelling metric that funders would want to know and to hear. This figure is now a headline metric on the program page. which is visible to all the funders, including the Carnegie Corporation, the National Research Foundation, and any prospective funder. The 4D capabilities on research reach across SDGs, countries, and disciplines. For instance, 24.7% of the publications are in good health, answering to SDG 3, and 15.8% on climate action, answering to SDG 13, 13% on reduced inequalities, answering to SDG 10. In terms of disciplines, 86 publications are in medicine, 65 in material science, 57 in engineering, and 53 in computer science. Among these publications, the countries that are quite represented are Ghana with 37 studies and Rwanda with 24 studies. Going to capability number 5, which is talking to the partnership ecosystem, it has been made visible. The platform shows that we have 16 active institutional partners who include the Imperial College London, Tübingen University, to the University of Rwanda, University of Ghana, Nelson Mandela University. This web of collaboration now exists in very viable, navigable form for any external audience through the platform. If I talk about the last capability, number 6, which is attributing high impact publications in real time, we are able to indicate the latest publication as occurred in the Lancet this year. It's on childhood vaccination. We also have another one within the Lancet Digital Health, but this one is for this year on digital health research. In 25, we had the Nature Network Boston, Interdisciplinary Science and Physical Review, which is physics and data science. So we can see that in a summary that this platform has given us a visibility that is irrefutable. It has changed a lot. We are able to have our research productivity publicly auditable with hard numbers. We are able to do longitudinal tracking, which reviews sustained scientific output beyond the grant period. We are able to tell that 93% grant leverage of that our fellows have received 93% grant reference, and that SDG alignment disciplines and country reach are eligible to any external audience, and that partnership networks are verifiable, not just claimed, and that we have high impact publications which are attributed back to AIMS and its funders in real time. We can say that the platform has transformed AIMS from a program that generated impact into one that can prove that the impact has been generated. So that is all I can say about the platform and AIMS.
Thank you, Macau. That is plenty of detail. I was telling my team we need to get together and write that down. It's impressive how you have really taken the time to document how this platform has impacted your capacity. I can see the experience of being a CARTA person has remained with you, and now AIMS is reaping those fruits. Certainly, as you're mentioning, having our productivity out there and being able to showcase the trends, and especially as you have mentioned, Emmanuel has also pointed it out, how it shows the contribution to the research portfolio, the SDGs, but also disciplines and research areas, so that we can more easily identify the expertise that our programs are bringing to the different partner institutions or to the different trainees that we are working with. I want to call now on Jemima to talk about, from the perspective of the BANGA program in Ghana, to talk a bit about the process of co-creation of this platform. I know from our end, we had all these databases, as Emmanuel has mentioned, spreadsheets all over the place, and trying to bring it together was quite an effort. Finding the information was also challenging, and certainly when we saw it put back to us as a mirror, we could see more clearly where we have to enhance our own systems and how we can still do better, even though we thought we were doing quite good. We can still do much better from our M&E perspective and the information that we have and how we tell the story. Jemima, I hope you're there. You can tell us a bit about the experience of co-creation. I don't know if she has fallen off because she was there, but she has disappeared now. No, she's then. Maybe I move to Salome in the meantime, and we try. Topista Naomi will try and get Jemima back online, and we move to the lessons learned in that process. But maybe since we are here now, we have the time. Salome, if you can tell us about the journey a bit and how those lessons came about, please feel free to share.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, great. So yeah, there were lots of takeaways from this experience. One of the things I can point out to from the get-go is about data quality. Just the fact that data quality is a matter of process and it's continuing. It's not a one-time activity. I've seen quite a few questions in the Q&A box about the data quality. So the cleaning, the validation, the verifying, it was a continuous process up to the end. And anytime you have you're projecting something that's coming on the platform, there's always an opportunity to improve and to make the data better. So one of the lessons is the ability and the ability to make it.
Sorry, Salome, I don't know if it's me, but you're breaking. Maybe you can try without the camera to see if it goes a bit. We can hear you, but we have to touch your words.
Okay. Okay, let me.
Oh,
I hope
that's much better. Yeah, much better.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so I don't know at what point. I hope you got the first
yeah,
lesson,
the gist is that
about
data quality is a matter of process. Yes.
Yes,
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. The other takeaway was about standardization of maybe the indicators and the needs of the programs vis-a-vis integration. Like just coming to the agreement that this is what we would like in terms of indicators, metrics, what we'd like to measure, and putting that in consideration for all the programs that are part of the project. So that was a bit of also a process, getting everybody to align in one way or another, or just to agree. It was a very what can I say? It was a delicate process, but in the end, it's really about what each program really requires from this process, and agreeing on those indicators and how to integrate them into the platform. The third one is about the technology. The technology, and also the part about consensus and agreeing. Actually, technology is the easier part, and coming to agree on how to use that technology, or for what really you want to focus on, was the difficult part. So there's a lot of working together and putting forward ideas and coming to a consensus about what is really required for the system and what really meets the needs of each program. Also, the human-centeredness of the program was a key part, and I think that everybody agrees with that. The more human-centered the program, the easier the adoption of the technology, and also just the easier in terms of communication and visibility. Lastly, I would talk about integration as a learning opportunity for the programs, because we had the different programs looking at different things, having different metrics, having different objectives, and just having that discussion and having different ideas and bringing them together gave the opportunity of working across the programs and learning about new opportunities. Like for our program, Possible Africa, we had a lot of metrics that were centered around, of course, academic metrics were key, but also we had additional metrics that were around social and policy impact. So having those kinds of discussions across the different programs and just coming to understanding how to work around that was also a learning opportunity for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Salome. That's very insightful, and certainly I would ask back to Jude whether the technology part was easy. I know he has been having nightmares and sweats, but most of us, he has done that. Some of us received a few messages on Saturday at the odd hour, and we would say, it's like, this man, does he have any life beyond developing these platforms? But as you're saying, certainly the consensus part, the discussion, and as you mentioned at the end, learning across programs. We are all doing a lot of work. We are all immersed in our implementation work, and it's rare the opportunity that appears like this to really share lessons across different programs. And as you've mentioned, we explicitly worked with our previous Carnegie officer to select programs that were funded by Carnegie that had different characteristics. Yours is a fellowship program. AIMS is an institute that has different structures. And BANGA is a program within an institution. ARUA and CARTA are consortia. So it was all precisely to share lessons and see how the different programs could benefit from something like this. And certainly, as we have seen with Naomi's presentation of the framework, this is nowhere near the end. We are all interested in more indicators. We are all interested, as you have said, in societal impact, policy impact, and how to gather the data and bring it to the platform so that it's integrated and it tells the story of the impact of the work that our programs are doing. That is actually the million-dollar question now. How do we crack that? I know there are multi-million-dollar businesses out there trying to crack the policy tracking, the policy impact tracking, citations in policy documents, and they are still in its infancy and not doing all too well. But hopefully we can also enter into that that landscape, that environment, and try to do our part to define what societal impact is. I remember very well the conversations we had with you about the social sciences and contributions to knowledge, theoretical frameworks, and who sets the agenda and who says what is the knowledge that needs to be considered, and how we get there. For sure, we will have more probabilities to get there if we go together. So as I was saying at the beginning, I certainly hope that this is the first of many adventures together. Now, as you have mentioned, there are quite a few questions, but before I move to the participants, to our listeners, I want to give 1 minute to each of you. I see that Jemima has not come back, but as I was mentioning, some of the lessons that what Salome has shared actually show some of the challenges that we all went through when we were working together on this. And I have mentioned how we in CARTA learned about our own data gaps and how our M&E systems had to be more integrated. So then we could present an integrated story about the intervention and the impact on the other side. But I want to give each of you just 1 minute to give a parting thought before we move to the questions. As I also asked Jude, who will speak at the end, to maybe take on the comments that we have all shared, to look at the questions in the Q&A, if he can address a few of those. So I can see he's already there. Maybe we can save time, and for sure, as the more questions we have, the more interactive this will be, the better. So maybe, Emmanuel, I get back to you. One parting thought. Because my Zoom is saying that my internet is slow. Okay, Emmanuel, can you hear us? Or maybe Macau, then you can go from Ames.
We haven't to say anything good about that because it is also.
Sorry, I don't know if it's me, but you're very faint. Maybe Jude, you could confirm if you can hear.
Yeah, from the presentation I've
Much
done.
better, thank you.
Yeah, it's clear that the platform is coming in to answer some of the issues that we grappled with in the past. And I note that it captured only one program within HANES, and noting that HANES has a multiple programs in place, including the students who have graduated from our programs. It will be good for us to be able to incorporate all these sets of people into the platform so that we are able now to have one place where we can go for M&T data, where we can look for in terms of impact that HAMES has had into the society. So the prayer is that we should be thinking about how to incorporate other programs into the platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Macau. And certainly, since Jude has now sweated the dark sweat and the system he has cracked the system, I'm sure he will be happy to hear that your institution wants to bring in more programs, more users, or even an institutional profile that, as he has shown, we can all share the cost of keeping this alive and keep improving it. We have changed one Emmanuel for the other. I can see.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I can see you're with us. No, that's fine. I wanted one parting shot, but for you is one welcoming and parting. This is another Emmanuel from ARUA, for those of in the audience who are not used to this, but yeah, they happen to be namesakes as well. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Manu.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, just to re-echo Macao's point, I think the heavy lifting has been done. There is great opportunity to scale this up. Of course, it requires some refinement and looking at how to bring on board the different programs that we engage with other partners outside of Carnegie. I think there is a lot of opportunity to do that. So we are very open to exploring avenues for ensuring that this is refined and kept running. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Certainly, I'm sure Jude would be happy. I still remember the dinner when I talked to our Carnegie colleagues about this, and somehow many years later we are here. It takes a lot of conversations and a lot of convincing. So for sure, all of us together will be stronger to convince some of those development partners to let us invest our M&E or program management funding to keep this up. Salome, can you share your part in?
Yeah, I would just like to agree with Emmanuel and Macau that this platform is transformative, and I think it would be something that we would like to pursue and also contribute to continue growing. So yeah, that would be our position, and we are happy to be part of this going forward as it continues to get refined and get more specific in terms of serving the specific needs of the programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Salome. I don't see our BANGA colleagues coming on board, but I want to give our fellows also a minute to say something that maybe in their quick intervention they didn't share. Let me just call you the way you appear on my screen. Stephen, you're first.
Thank you so much. I think this is a good initiative because we have not had any evidence synthesis for African settings. So, and also the idea of having several of these programs come together to do a joint thing actually expands the benefits for all of us. The graduates from the different programs, now we are able to see others whom we didn't know. So this is a great initiative. I just had made a request that maybe there was a question of showing how somebody can use the portal as one of the questions. Maybe if there's some more time, Jude could illustrate that a little bit in about a minute. Thank you. Over.
Thank you. I'm not sure we can do that in 1 minute, but for sure we are taking note that maybe we can have an informative session where that is given plenty of time so that we don't rush through. And also Jude can get ready to show people how to register, how to curate your profile, and to different institutions, how to submit a request for partnership, and how to find the way to connect with us. Deborah, I can see you're still with us. Can you share one parting thought? Deborah, are you still with us? Okay, maybe she stepped out. Well, that is from our side, and maybe Jude, can I ask you to give us your comments to everything that you have heard, and then as you were answering the questions, if there's any that you want to address. For sure, I want to invite everybody to get in touch through us, through CARTA. You can use our email, carta@aphrc.org, to share your questions. Subscribe to our newsletters so that you keep learning about any future developments about these, and for sure the other programs will also have channels for you to keep up to date with their progress. But when it comes to CBCs, we will make sure that we inform all our stakeholders. Jude? Has Jude disappeared?
Oh, am I muted? Sorry, I was muted.
Yes.
So I was really thanking you and everybody for making this happen, and to say that it's been a big learning journey for us, also working from the technology side. And in that journey, I would say that, it's really been a lot of learning, so to speak. And for a lot of what has been said regarding improvement and so on, what we've continued to do in the back end is to take a lot of the lessons to say, how can we make this work for everybody? But again, while the programs we've brought together are totally different programs with their peculiarities, where the overlap, is probably less than how they are different. So what we've done effectively is that in the decentralized version of this, every program should be able to take over its own portal and manage it the way that best serves its own specific needs. So most of the suggestions that you all have on how to improve the system moving forward are things that we have created a system such that you're able to do that on your own with minimal support from us or from any technical requirement, because the system is built it's a plug and play system. The version we're going to release after this meeting, it will be totally plug and play. Any program can edit, refine, improve, add or remove whoever they want to add or remove. And for new programs as well who want to come on board, if you also contact us, we should also be able to give you access to create your own profile, and can be as easy as submitting your OC IDs for your beneficiaries. And you have a first set of profiles that can continuously then get improved by you adding more information on the system. So the system is ready to go. We are ready to hand over to the partners to edit and improve and manage as they choose, but also to take more partners if those opportunities arise. And for further demonstration, Stephen, I'll be more than happy to arrange a session where we then take time to carefully go through this new iteration that we are considering, particularly in the light of all the added technology we have built on top of it. Your ability to generate, policy briefs with ease, even begin to use as a thinking partner in generating a new research idea, how the system can help you do that. But importantly too, which I think will come soon, is a place where you all can also store data for reuse or for sharing, which the system is also able to do. So these are many things that we are doing to create a more inclusive African research ecosystem in one centralized platform, and use that to drive collaboration, but also maximize opportunity and resources that are quite limited in our region. I could spend a whole day talking about it, but I think I'll pause for a moment and say those who are finally using what we're doing to please reach out, and let's see how we can continue to work together. I thank you all.
Thank you, Jude. We know what you've gone through, so it's normal that you want to talk about it. I want to ask everybody to show your faces. We are about to go. I want to remind everybody of some of the key messages that we are putting together: program information and bibliometric indicators in an integrated way that is allowing us to give visibility to our programs. Something that is not an affiliation, something that is not a specific field in your publication, something that the Scopus, the Web of Science, are not doing right now. We are doing it thanks to Jude and his tenacity working with the technical team. And thanks to our partners for coming together to allow us to test all these different scenarios and to experiment with us. We could have failed massively, but we didn't, and we are happy to come to this point and showcase that the platform is up and ready to be shared with the world. There's always improvements to do, but I also want to call upon our early career researchers to remember that if Jude doesn't pick up your papers are very hidden, because nobody else looks for African publications with more tenacity than Jude's system. So just think about where you publish. And of course, if it's still just submitted or pre-print, it may not be up in the platform yet. Those book chapters sometimes don't even get a DOI and are very hidden. So it's difficult to find certain outputs. But certainly if Jude doesn't find it, it's really hidden. Yes, Jude, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I want to say that it's also in this new version, people can now submit what we don't have for us to verify and include. And what also may not have been attributed to them, if they find it, they can now claim it.
Yeah.
If it's in our database not attributed to them, you can find and claim it using ORCID verification. So I think we are quite set, to deal with a number of the challenges that have been reported over the years, to take us to the level of being able to fully cater for an African audience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And just to remind all of us that we have been providing this free labor to ResearchGate, to Scopus, to Web of Science, to Google Scholar, claiming our profiles and verifying our papers and all these for decades. And now in a year and a half, 2 years, we have this system put together. So nothing is 100% guaranteed or perfect, but we have come a long way, and for sure we will reach out, and hopefully Jude has put the system in place so that everyone can help us improve their own profile. It is something that we all have to learn how to do, keep our digital profiles up to date and interconnected. Luckily, the times when ORCID only accepted manually inputted research outputs is long gone. Now you can interconnect it with all the different databases and digital profiles, so things are getting better for all of us. Still, we still need to give permissions, make sure that everything is interconnected. And if there's a way for it to be fished out of the big web, I'm sure Jude will catch it. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the Carnegie Corporation New York again for funding this specific project. I want to thank our partners, ARUA, AIMS, BANGA in the University of Ghana, the Possible Africa in the Science for Africa Foundation. It's been quite a ride. From the Consortium for Advanced Research Training in Africa, CARTA. We are proud to have led this, and we are thankful for Jude's effort and techie spirit that took us from a manual bibliometric analysis published in 2019, I think it was, Jude, that you can find online. That initial bibliometric paper, painstakingly done manually, has taken us to this place where we can identify outputs from before, during, after the program, across different programs, and outlined contribution to SDGs, to research areas, and you name it, everything that you have heard this afternoon. Thanks again, everybody. I'm happy to have worked with you, and I hope, as I said, this will be just the first of many. Over.